Hey everybody, it's Patrick Grosser with Fathom Realty, and this is your Cincinnati real estate market news for week 8 of 2021. I'm trying a new format here with a Facebook Live, so please comment, let me know what you think, whether that's good or bad. I don't know if you guys would actually prefer a live, more casual production here, or if you prefer the pre-recorded, edited version of this. But just let me know what you're thinking. I'm kind of curious on what you're thinking about that. So let me know. Before we jump into the numbers here for this week, I'm going to have some goodies here for buyers and sellers on how you can find off-market properties. This is a really difficult market right now to find a home. If you're searching for one, that's no secret to you. If you find a house you do like, sometimes you can't see it before it's already sold, and sometimes if you get your offer in, if you're lucky to get your offer in, you might lose in multiple offers. So it's a very difficult time for buyers and also for sellers who are also having to buy a new home to move into to navigate this. So I'm going to have at the end of the video some information on how you can get access to some unlisted properties before they hit the market. So let's jump into the numbers here. I've got some notes here. So compared to this week last year, new listings are down 22%. So of course that's discouraging as inventory is already low. Getting lower is obviously bad news for buyers and good news for sellers. I do expect to see that number increase. If you remember, of course, last year around this time is when the COVID restrictions started to hit, and in March and April we saw drops in new listings as large as 40%. So I expect as we move forward in the next few weeks here, in the next month or so, we're going to see the new listings number rise quite a bit. Also, I think there's a lot of people who thought about moving last year but didn't want to because of COVID, and I think those people are going to come to market as well. So I think we'll see a lot more listings coming to market this spring. And of course, we know the snow has melted for the most part here, so and it's almost March, so those two things typically get people out of their houses and get to thinking about moving on to their next house. More buyers out looking and more sellers willing to market. So closings are down 15% compared to the same week last year. That's lower activity overall. Last year, if you remember, the weather was a lot warmer than it was this year. Typically when it's cold and snowy, people aren't looking at houses and sellers aren't wanting to move and aren't wanting to market their house because they know buyers aren't really out there. So that's no surprise there. I expect that number to increase with the weather getting better as well. Average sale price though is up 20% compared to last year. We've seen that fluctuate, but we've seen anywhere from 15 to 25% week to week compared to the same weeks last year. No surprise with limited inventory and strong demand that the average sale price is rising so sharply week to week. So we expect not to have that over the course of a year, not a 20% increase, but certainly in the double digits. So if you own a home, it's obviously good news for you. If you're trying to buy one, it's difficult, but the thing that does help you is that you have historically low mortgage interest rates and you actually have a lot more buying power because of that than you may realize. Average days on market compared to this week last year are down 38%. That's a huge drop. It's actually not quite as sharp of a drop as we've seen in recent weeks though. So we're starting to see that maybe inventory is starting to pick up, and it will pick up. In fact, inventory is ticked up a little bit compared to last week. It's at 2.18 months worth of inventory. So we're 3.82 months shy of market equilibrium, which means buyers and sellers are on an equal playing field in terms of their negotiation strength. So we're a long ways away from that. We're still very much a seller's market. Inventory is low, demand is high. We don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So my tip for buyers is, of course, if you're looking for a home right now, as you know, there's not much available. It's tough to see the house before it sells. Sometimes you're dealing with a multiple offer situation. The best thing you can do is to actually try to find some properties that might be willing, some owners that might be willing to sell their properties off market. So it's difficult to do as an individual because it actually does take quite a bit of time and some advertising spend to get in front of people who might consider selling their home. But that's something that I've been starting to do for my clients, whether it's building a list of homes in their favorite zip code and price point and trying to get them access to some sellers who may be willing to sell off market. And also, if you have something very specific in mind, I've been helping clients find exactly what they want in the particular neighborhood with a certain number of beds and baths and certain price point or school district that they're looking for. I can help them find something very specific as well. I use a target marketing approach. I spend my time and I spend my money to give them access to this. And I'm just basically connecting sellers who are willing to sell, but they don't want to deal with the hassle of going through all of the stress of showings and dealing with multiple offers. It may sound like it's a really fun time for sellers, but it's actually pretty stressful and difficult to deal with dozens of showings and several offers. So they'd rather just sell full market value to an individual who really wants to live there and is willing to be proactive about finding it. So I've even seen some Facebook posts from some savvy potential buyers that are marketing themselves and saying that they want to live in that neighborhood. The problem is they're not spending money to do that. They're just kind of putting it out there, which may work organically, but I'm actually willing to spend and invest my time and money to help my clients to find those through Facebook ads. So that's something, if you're interested in pre-market access to unlisted homes, again, these will be pre-screened. These are sellers that want to sell, but they're just looking for full market value in a painless process. If you're interested in that, go ahead and drop in the comments unlisted. That's all you have to do. I'm not going to try to stalk you and try to get you to buy a house with me or try to sell your house. It's just an initial point for us to make contact to see if you can find something that would be off market that might fit your needs. There's no obligation to buy. There's no cost for this. It's just simply an opportunity for me to try to help you. And of course, I benefit if I do find a seller that wants to sell. And if you do find a property you'd want to buy from a seller, of course, I'm going to get paid for my time to do that, but nothing outside of the ordinary. This is just kind of an outside of the box way for you guys to try to avoid the competition from the other buyers. The best part is if you do find a seller that wants to sell and you're interested in what they have, we can connect you. You're not competing with other buyers. You're not going to deal with a multiple offer situation because, in fact, in almost every case, you're going to be the only buyer who actually knows about it. So I'm not trying to do this for hundreds or thousands of people. I'm trying to work with just a few buyers at a time so I can really spend some time and some money to find exactly what they're looking for. And that way, my clients are going to actually just have only one property to look at a time. The sellers are going to only have one buyer to worry about. It's going to be more of a painless process when we do find that. So again, if you're interested in pre-market access to unlisted homes, go ahead and click the like button and also comment unlisted. For sellers, my tip is actually the same. So you've probably heard a million times from all kinds of agents or even from other consumer sites, cash offer companies, that they can buy your house for cash as is. They can pay you top dollar. You can sell quickly for top dollar. Regardless of what the agents or the other companies are going to tell you, obviously you know the market is hot. You know it's a great time to sell. There's no question about that. But what I'm finding from sellers, which makes total sense, is they don't want to sell because they don't know where they're going to live next. Okay, they don't want to sell and then be homeless, or they don't want to sell and then rent an apartment for a while and then move twice. So obviously, as a seller right now, you know you can sell for top dollar. You still have to do things right. You still have to work with a professional, or you have to be really good at doing it on your own and know what you're doing in order to get top dollar. But the point is, you need to know where you're going to live next. So the same advice I have for buyers is what I have for sellers right now. You need to find that next home. You need to get access to off-market properties. So go ahead, if you're interested as a seller, you're thinking about selling either now or in the next few months and you don't know where you're going to live next, go ahead and comment unlisted. I can get you started to see if we can find something off-market for you. A seller, again, that might be willing to sell, make it a painless process for you, and then perhaps you can do the same thing. Maybe I can match you with a buyer for your house too, and you don't even have to list. So either way, go ahead and like this post. If you're interested, comment unlisted. And by the way, if you are thinking about selling your home, one thing that a lot of sellers are struggling with right now is they don't have the down payment funds for their next house. They have to sell in order to buy, or they have looked at getting pre-approved with a lender and the lender says you have to sell in order to buy. Of course, you may have heard that it's almost impossible to get a contingent offer accepted, meaning this offer that you're writing on the home you're trying to buy is contingent upon selling your current home. No seller wants to deal with that because they have so many offers. They don't have to deal with that. So you need to put yourself in a position where you can buy first without selling. And if you just can't get qualified for that due to your debt to income ratios or due to lack of cash for a down payment, I actually have a partner that's willing to, it's a national partner that we work with here locally, that will actually buy your house and let you live in it while you're finding your next home. I'm going to repeat that because it sounds a little crazy. they're willing to buy your house and you can stay living in your house, and then you can take your time to find your next house, and then when you find that next one, then you can go ahead and complete the sale and you can move out. So that's a really unique approach. It's kind of like a bridge. It's not a loan. It's actually them giving you 100% of your equity. So rather than doing a home equity line of credit or a cash out refi or a home equity loan or a bridge loan where you only get 70 to 85% of your home equity, you're actually tapping 100% of your home equity. You're getting all the cash you need to put a big down payment on your next house so you can qualify with those debt to income ratios with the lender to get pre-approved to buy without selling, because you've already done it and you don't have to move twice. That's the best part. So a lot of things to consider here. It's a difficult market to make a move because nobody can really find the next place to move to. So whether you're thinking about selling or you're buying for the first time, you need access to off-market properties. So go ahead and click click the like button, and in the comments write unlisted if you're interested in more information on how you can get pre-market access to unlisted properties. As always, I hope this information has been helpful to you guys. If you'd like more information like this, whether it's market news or exclusive buyer-seller tips on how you can compete in the difficult market right now, like this post, comment, let me know some topics that you might be interested in me doing in the future if I haven't covered those already. Also, make sure you follow my business page and you tap the notifications bell as well to make sure you don't miss any information that might help you to get what you're looking for, whether you're buying or selling in this tough market. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.